Hi, I'm Jim.
Hi, I'm Matthew.
And we're about to play Warhammer 40,000, 9th edition. Today I've brought Space Marines, the Crimson Fists.
And I bought Khorne, Chaos Space Marines.
Okay, well let's have a quick look at the armies.
Fantastic. Should we start with the Marines?
Okay, so I've got the Contemptor Dreadnought at the back. One squad of 10 infiltrators with the Helix
Adept. Yeah.
So little medic guy can heal them. 2 squads of normal intercessors, a squad of eliminators with the camel cloaks, a squad of normal tactical marines. There's 7 just to make up the points, and then HQs at the front. I've got Terminator Librarian, so his psychic powers are Chasm and Fortify.
Not sarcasm.
Not sarcasm. So Chasm for offensive, Fortify for defensive. And my Warlord is the Captain Terminator Armour. The Warlord trait is something like Refuse to Die.
Yeah.
It's the one where after he gets killed, roll a dice, he might come back to life again.
Okay, so on the naughty guy's side, the Chaos Space Marines, Demon Prince with Wings is my HQ. He's accompanied by an exalted one.
Exalted Champion.
Exalted Champion. Starting from right to left or left to right. Obliterators, a squad. They will probably be in the air waiting to come down. I have a Mauler Fiend, which is basically a large metal dog. I have Chaos Spawn, a squad of 3, Possessed, 2 squads of cultists, and what are these again, Jim?
Bloodletters.
Bloodletters, fantastic. And is that an extra one, a warrior?
So that's the champion, and then you've got your Greater Possessed.
Sorry, this is the Greater Possessed, and this is the champion.
Yep.
And of course, my army is built up around getting as close as possible, as quickly as possible, to chop you to bits.
Whereas mine's is hold the line and take aim fire.
Okay, let's see what happens.
So the mission we're going to play is from Chapter Approved 2019. It's called Frontline Warfare. So pretty straightforward. There's going to be objective markers in each of our deployment zones, 2 in the middle. If you control the one in your own deployment zone, that's worth 1 point. The one in the middle are worth 2 points, and your one in your opponent's deployment zone is worth 4 points.
Yeah, I remember we played this before.
Yep.
That was an interesting game.
So I think your army is really mobile.
Yes.
So I'm really going to have to defend that back line objective, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because you've got stuff that appears from the warp, runs halfway across the board. I think I might be on the defense.
Yeah, well, I have to stay out of your killing fields and lines of fire and get past your bullets. So let's, shall we get started?
Yep, right. Set up. Okay, so we've set up the battlefield and chosen the deployment zones. So Matt is going to be deploying in the 4 corners. I'm going to be right in the middle. And the objectives. So there's one over here in Matt's deployment zone, one right here in the middle in my deployment zone, and then the 2 out in the open are just either side here and here. So the one in your own deployment zone is worth 1 point, these 2 are worth 2 points, and the one in your opponent's deployment zone is worth
4 points.
4 points.
Yeah, 4 points.
Okay, so that's us deployed. All my guys, one big mass in the middle. So, holding the ruins in the middle, I've got my tactical marines, intercessors. The captain is right in the middle, so he can give his 6-inch reroll 1s to hit.
Yes,
Yep.
captains do that.
So, hopefully he can catch everybody here. The eliminators don't need line of sight, so they're just kind of tucked up in the middle for now. We'll see what happens. Then a little bit of forward deployment on the infiltrators, who are going to be making a dash for this objective early on. Librarian on the other side, Dreadnought at the back, I didn't know which of the corners Matt was going to deploy in, so it's a bit of a
very tricky
blind deployment. But that's it. Everything's on the table. Nothing's in reserve.
I was going to say the ruins must be very important to defend them so vigorously.
Another heroic last stand for the Crimson Fists.
Fantastic. Okay, so I got to choose corner deployments, which is fantastic for me. As a defender, it feels more like I'll be attacking you.
Yes.
I decided to put Possessed here with the Greater Possessed. The Greater Possessed buffs the Possessed with Cultists holding the objective here. I was able to put Cultists in dense cover here, and slightly closer than the Demon Prince. He's got wings anyway, so he's quite mobile. In
12-inch move.
He's gonna get somewhere if he survives your turn. One of my favourite units in 40k is Chaos Spawn. I just love them. I love the randomness. I also decided to put the Mauler Fiend in the far corner, but he's hidden around the side just to give him a little bit of protection he needs. In the Warp, I have my... what are these again?
Bloodletters.
Bloodletters. I always forget Bloodletters. And Obliterators, which can drop down and hopefully will obliterate. I've also brought some Khorne dice with me and Chaos Space Marine dice, so I'm guaranteed 6s all game.
Oh,
okay, so let's see what happens.
Go into the first turn. So, at the end of the Crimson Fist movement phase, my infiltrators have jumped forward to grab this objective. My Dreadnought has ran up to the corner of the building to set his sights on the Demon Prince. And that's pretty much it. Everybody else is holding tight inside the ruined buildings. Onto the Crimson Fist's psychic phase, and my Librarian is targeting these Possessed up on the platform. He casts both Smite and Chasm. Smite to damage their minds, and Chasm to open up a crater beneath them that they have to dodge. Both psychic powers are cast successfully, but neither do much damage. Smite does 1 mortal wound onto one of the Possessed, and Chasm does only 1 more mortal wound, which is just enough to kill off 1 Possessed from the squad.
But that could have been a lot worse.
In the shooting phase, the Intercessors take aim at the Possessed, managing to kill 1 and wound 1. Then the Librarian, trying to make up for his lackluster psychic phase performance, also takes aim at the Possessed and manages to kill 1 more. The Eliminators, using their Sniper's ability, take shots at the Demon Prince, but miss all of them. And then the Captain shoots into the Cultists and manages to kill 3. On the other side of the battlefield, the Intercessors take aim at the Cultists. They manage to kill 4. And then the Tactical Marines follow up, and they manage to kill the remaining 6, wiping out the squad and giving me 1 victory point for first strike. And now that the Demon Prince has lost his screen of cultists, my Contemptor is able to take aim. He manages to do 1 damage with his bolt gun and 1 damage with his assault cannon. Finally, my Infiltrators shoot down into the spawn, managing to kill 1 and put 2 wounds on another.
So the round is now finished. The first round.
First turn.
First turn. So how did you get on, Jim?
I think it went not too badly, actually. We had on this side, the Infiltrators managed to knock down a couple of the Possessed, then lost 1 more to the psychic powers from the Librarian. So I was quite happy to thin that herd a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think we knocked off a couple of cultists up here as well. So that's not too bad. The snipers completely whiffed.
Oh yes, thank
so they can target characters if they're not the closest. They can target people without line of sight, perfect to take some hits on the Demon Prince. Missed all their shots.
Yeah, well, they're looking the other way, Jim.
Yeah,
I can
that's
see that here.
But I did manage to wipe out the squad of cultists
Yes.
that was screening the Demon Prince. So I think the combined shooting from the troops in the building here managed to get rid of those cultists.
Yes.
So then Demon Prince's screen was gone. So the Contemptor was able to take aim on him. Nothing too serious. He took 2 wounds, which is okay, not a bad start. But we had some success over here as well. The infiltrators managed to kill one of the spawn, reduce another one to half wounds.
Yes.
So all in all, I'm quite happy with how the shooting phase went.
Absolutely. Yeah. But now it's my turn to fight back.
Yep. So Matt, your movement phase.
So I moved the cultist back a bit to hopefully stay out of smite range and keep them holding that objective. I moved the greater possessed and the exalted champion to threaten the left flank of the Crimson's Fist. I now decided, instead of sending my my Demon Prince in when they're strong, I'm going to hold him back a while. But I will bring the Bloodletters and send them in first. They will also help screen him for a turn. On this side, I brought the Spawn forward and the Mauler Fiend forward, and they, I think, are going to get some juicy targets to have a go at. And on the other side of the map, I brought my Obliterators in, because I sense opportunity to have a shot on the captain. So hopefully I can cut the snake's head off. And let's see what happens.
Now we're into Matt's shooting phase, and the remaining cultists up on the objective tried to take some shots at the intercessors but failed to do any damage. Then Matt's exalted champion also tries to take on the same intercessors and also fails to do any damage. On the other side of the battlefield, the Mauler Fiend takes aim with his pistols on the infiltrators but fails to make any of the shots. Then from the bottom of the field is the Obliterator's turn to fire. Matt rolls for their weapon stats first, so they end up with strength 7, AP -1 and 3 damage. They have 6 shots each, so 2 fire into the intercessors for a total of 12 shots, and 1 will put his 6 shots into the librarian. The shots on the intercessors land and obliterate 4 of the 5 squad members.
Obliterated. Okay.
But fortunately, the librarian's Terminator armour saves him from any damage. Now, as you'd expect from a Khorne army, Matt goes all in on the charge phase. First up, the Exalted Champion charges into the last Intercessor in the right hand building, followed up by the remaining Possessed, who charge into that Intercessor and also the Eliminator squad.
And he's in.
On the other flank, the Mauler Fiend charges into the Infiltrators, but I take Overwatch and manage to put 2 damage on him. Matt follows up by charging the Chaos Spawn into the Infiltrators. Then the Demon Prince swoops down from his perch and charges into the Dreadnought. And finally the Bloodletters charge into the Dreadnought too.
There we are. Sorry, you're in trouble now.
Into the fight phase now, where Matt's Khorne army really comes into its element. So he starts with the Demon Prince attacking the Dreadnought. He lands 8 hits and does 6 wounds on the Dreadnought, bringing Dreadnought down to only 4 wounds left. So before the Bloodletters can finish off the Dreadnought, I play the counter-offensive stratagem, so I get a chance to fight back immediately. So the Dreadnought lands 3 attacks against the Demon Prince, each doing 3 damage each, and the Demon Prince fails all his saves, meaning a total of 9 damage would go through, which would be enough to kill him.
And I don't make any of them. How much damage?
3 each.
3 each?
Yeah.
Oh my word. He has to do 9 shrugs.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's powerful.
But because of his Warlord trait, the Demon Prince has a 6-up Feel No Pain. So Matt rolls and manages to shrug off 3 of those 9 wounds, meaning 6 wounds go through, which brings the Demon Prince down to just 1 wound remaining. Then the Bloodletters follow up. They split their attacks, 5 into the Intercessor squad and 5 into the Dreadnought. They manage to kill 3 Intercessors, but don't get any damage through on the Dreadnought. Then the Exalted Champion attacks the Intercessor and lands 1 wound. Then the Possessed attack the Illuminators and kill 1. On the other flank, Matt rolls for the attacks characteristics of the Chaos Spawn.
So I have to roll for them as well. D3. Let's see what they get. 3, 2, 1. Oh, so 3. So D3. So 2. They add 2 attacks until the end of the fight phase.
Cool.
Okay, so I have to roll the number of attacks they get. Okay, so D6 plus 2 each. I'm going to command re-roll that. No. So that results in 3 attacks each.
Still 6, not bad.
6, not bad. Well, yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, that could have been worse though. That could have been a lot worse.
They attack the Infiltrators and kill 5. The Mauler Fiend then follows up and kills another 2 Infiltrators. Then the Crimson Fists get to fight back. The Infiltrators attack the Spawn, managing to kill 1 and wound 1. The remaining Intercessors attack the Bloodletters and manage to kill 2. On the other side, the other Intercessor attacks the Champion but does no damage. And the Illuminators manage to land 1 wound on the Possessed.
Well, Jim,
Okay.
what can I say?
Your turn.
Bloodbath.
That was a bloody turn.
Khorne lived up to its reputation and went all in everywhere from all the corners. So perhaps we can start over on the left. Well, the Greater Possessed didn't charge in because he wanted to stay on the objective. We still have to play 2 objectives. The Possessed... actually, from the shooting phase, the Obliterators obliterated a squad of Infiltrators. Intercessors, sorry. But they couldn't manage getting anywhere with the Librarian, unfortunately. But they took a squad out. So
one guy remaining.
Oh, one guy remaining. But I think we forgot to do the morale phase. So should we do his morale phase now? So do you want to roll a dice?
He's leadership 8.
8. So 6 and
4.
Yes. Oh, all right.
But can re-roll because it's
5 and 6. 5 and 6 in trouble. Oh, you have to re-roll.
So I have to re-roll this one.
Okay, 5 and 6. He's dead. Oh, sorry. He's dead. Okay, and he's using a Chaos Space Marine dice, and that's why he's dead. Sorry, Jim. Sorry.
Flees.
So the Obliterators helped destroy that squad and frightened him so much he ran away. So the Exalted Champion also helped in that corner as well. A lot of the action was over actually by the Contemptor Dreadnought. Now the Demon Prince decided to make a charge, and in the turn he summoned Bloodletters. And the Bloodletters took on an 11-inch charge, but they had 3 dice to do it, and they managed it. And they got into combat with a squad of Intercessors, which again have to do a morale check.
That's right.
so they've
lost 3.
3, so 6 is in trouble, isn't it?
5. They're okay.
Yeah, they're fine. They're okay. But they managed to take out, I think, 3 Infiltrators, Intercessors, and then do some damage on the Contemptor Dreadnought. The However, the dreadnought interrupted the attack and
Fought
nearly
back.
killed the demon prince. He's on 1 wound.
So yeah, so the demon prince flew in. He hit and did 6 damage
6 damage.
on the
Yeah,
detector.
which is not great,
Not
but
bad.
not terrible.
So it took him down to 4, so he's bracketed now.
Hmm.
Less effective. But yeah, so I used the counter-offensive stratagem. He hit back at the demon prince for... He landed actually 9 damage, but the demon prince warlord trait gives him a 6 up feel no pain. So he saved 3 of those wounds on the feel no pain rolls.
Yeah, that's quite lucky.
Yeah, so he took 6 damage. So he's down to 1
wound, so he's not long for this plane of existence, I'm afraid. Over here,
another morale check.
yeah, we had a morale check, yes. But how many did you lose over here?
7.
7. So that's
between the spawn and the Mauler Fiend,
yeah,
they
a
went
rock in a
down.
hard place, so to speak. Yeah,
went
I'll just
at
explain
7.
how we got there. The Mauler Fiend advanced and charged to get in between these 2 squads. Couldn't quite reach this one, so I didn't even try. The spawn went on top of the objective and to really threaten it, but their rolls weren't so great.
No.
But they managed to get 9 attacks, but they could do better next time. So let's see what the morale. Do you run away?
7. So I need a 1 or a 2.
1 or 2.
I'm not using the chaos space.
Okay. A white one.
Nice
White
pure
for life,
white
okay.
dice. That's a 1.
Oh, so 1. Would you believe it? Right. Okay. So
Something else we forgot. Morale test for these guys.
Oh yes.
And on a 1, reality blinks.
Yes. Reality. So obviously I roll a 1 now. Look. 2. Oh no, never mind.
So
Okay. Nothing happens. It's still a good roll though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't lose any, but I don't bring any back.
Okay. So scoring.
Scoring. Yes.
So you've got 1 in your deployment zone, 1 in the open. I've got 1 in my deployment zone and 1 in the open.
Yeah. So we're even.
So that's
even Stevens.
3 points there, 3 points there. I did clinch 1 for first strike.
Yes, you did. So you lead by
So that
1.
would be 4 points to 3.
It is. Yeah. Very
Going
good.
into turn 2. So my captain has shuffled along 5 inches closer towards the Mauler Fiend, Forge Fiend.
Mauler Fiend.
Mauler Fiend.
Forge Fiend
Okay.
is the shooty type.
The shooting one.
He is the hit you type.
Okay. And over on this side, the librarian is shuffled forward a bit closer to this objective and a bit closer to that greater possessed. So that brings us to the psychic phase, and our librarian here has 2 powers. So he's going to smite the nearest unit, which is the possessed.
Yes.
And then chasm the greater possessed. That smite caused 2 mortal wounds on the possessed, killing 1, and chasm did 1 mortal wound on the greater possessed. So shooting phase, sticking with the librarian, he's got combi plasma, so he's going to shoot the plasma at the greater possessed. And that plasma shot gets through for 2 damage. On the other side, the infiltrators use the close range bolter fire stratagem, so they can fire their bolt guns into this spawn, but they only manage to land 1 wound. In the middle, the eliminators fire their pistols into the possessed but miss. The intercessors fire their pistols into the bloodletters. They manage to land the 2 shots, but the bloodletter's demonic invulnerable save prevents any damage going through. Then finally, the tactical squad and the captain fire at the obliterators, but only manage to land 2 wounds. Okay, so charge phase, the librarian is going to charge the greater possessed. Let's see.
Yeah.
7.
Easy.
That looks okay. So we'll pop in
2 left, my guy.
Okay, so my captain is going to charge the fiend. So for the charge, I get a 6, which I think is fine. Okay, so in this scrum in the middle, the Demon Prince is sitting with 1 wound left. No one's charged him, which means after the fight phase starts, the Demon Prince could theoretically interrupt and kill the Contemptor. And then, even though it only has 1 wound left, I'd have nobody to actually attack the Demon Prince. So, I think I'm going to have to get my tactical marines here, out of the little shelter, and try to charge the Demon Prince so that he can get that first attack in. They're on an objective, but actually the eliminators here are still within 3 inches. So at least for now, I've still got someone on that objective. Okay, so let's go for the charge. 6. The tactical marines get to charge 6 inches, which is just enough to get most of them into close combat with the Demon Prince. So the tactical squad fight first in the fight phase. They land 3 hits on the Demon Prince. The Demon Prince saves 2, meaning 1 would go through and take away his final wound and kill him. But Matt uses the command reroll stratagem to reroll his save and makes it on the reroll. Then Matt uses the counter-offensive stratagem to interrupt the fight phase and fight with the Demon Prince. The Demon Prince splits his attacks between the tactical squad and the Dreadnought. He kills 1 of the tactical marines. He lands 3 wounds on the Dreadnought, which would be enough to kill him, but the Dreadnought makes all his saving throws.
Oh, that's nasty.
Next, the captain attacks a Mauler Fiend. He lands all 5 of his hits, converts all 5 into wounds. The Mauler Fiend manages to save 1, but that means 12 damage goes through, which is enough to kill it. Then on the other flank, the Librarian attacks the Greater Possessed. He only lands 2 out of his 5 hits, only converts 1 to a wound, and the Greater Possessed saves it. Then the Bloodletters fight. They split their attacks between the Intercessors and the Dreadnought. They manage to get 1 wound on one of the Intercessors, but they land 3 on the Dreadnought, each is worth 2 damage. The Dreadnought manages to save 1, but the other 4 damage would be enough to kill him.
Oh,
I think I'm going to have to CP.
that is worth it. That is worth it.
So I use my command reroll to reroll my saves and save 1 more, meaning only 2 damage goes through.
Oh.
Then the Dreadnought fights the Demon Prince. He only manages to land 1 wound, but it's worth 3 damage, and the Demon Prince fails all his saves and all his feel no pains. So the Demon Prince is dead, and I get a point for Slay the Warlord. But then the mistake in my timing is revealed, as Matt is now able to fight his spawn against my infiltrators before they get a chance to kill the spawn. The infiltrators fail all their saves and the squad is wiped out, meaning the Chaos Spawn now holds the objective. Back in the middle, the Eliminators only managed to land 1 wound against the Possess, which the Possess managed to save. Then the Greater Possessed fights the Librarian, doing 4 damage, leaving him with only 1 wound left. The Intercessors take on the Bloodletters and manage to kill 2. Then the Possessed fight the Eliminators. They only land 1 wound and that gets saved. So, at the end of the fight phase, neither the Greater Possessed or the Librarian managed to hold the objective on that flank. So I spend 3 command points on the Honour the Chapter stratagem so the Librarian can fight again. However, he only manages to land 1 wound on the Greater Possessed and he saves it. Then Matt uses the Fury of Khorne stratagem so the Greater Possessed can fight again. He lands 6 wounds on the Librarian and the Librarian fails all his saves. So the Librarian is killed and the Greater Possessed takes the objective.
Wow. Okay.
It feels like we're a lot deeper into this game than 1.5 rounds.
Yes. So where shall we start?
So, the Librarian tried to get across here to steal this objective back.
Yes.
He did some good damage on shooting.
He did.
Made the charge.
He did.
Failed his attacks.
He did. Twice. Okay.
Yep, I spent 3 CP so he could attack again.
Yes.
He failed those attacks too.
Mm.
And then the Greater Possessed got him on the counter attack.
Yeah.
I had more success on this side of the table.
He did.
So, the Tactical Marines charged the Demon Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Failed to take that last wound off him.
Yes.
So that was disappointing.
He absorbed a lot of hate.
Yeah. And then the Demon Prince interrupted, didn't he?
He did.
But
then didn't do any.
Yeah.
I think he scratched you. Took
So,
one guy out, I think.
Yeah. So he lost 1 Marine. Then the captain had ran over and he charged the Forge
Mauler Fiend, the big dog looking thing.
And this, he has the Crimson Fist relic,
Yes.
the Fist of Vengeance.
Yes.
On him, it is a cracker.
Yeah.
So he has 5 attacks, I think. Normally has 4, has +1 because he charged.
Yeah, he's just
5 attacks, hits on 2s, rerolls 1s, strength 8, AP -3, flat 3 damage. So he punched that Mauler Fiend to death.
He did.
Yeah, that guy is good in close combat. Then the Contemptor managed to take that last wound of the Demon Prince.
Yeah.
But over here, the
Chaos
Spawn took out those last.
Yeah, 1
3.
Chaos Spawn did a lot of attacks. +2, like 7 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, I got the order of my attacks wrong.
Yes. We learned by
paying more attention, I should have attacked with those infiltrators before the Dreadnought, because these guys
You're getting too excited to kill the big guy.
That's it. But it did give me a point for Slay the Warlord.
You did, yeah. You got it. Yes.
Morale, nothing interesting happened in the morale phase.
No.
And that was that. So, now back to Chaos. Chaos
okay,
22.
let's see what we can do.
So Matt's Bloodletters pulled back out of combat, hid behind the wall, opening up the Dreadnought and those intercessors to shooting attacks from, most likely, these Obliterators, which have moved up the board slightly. Otherwise, we have the Champion, who's jumped into the building to grab that objective. Mm-hmm. Then the Spawn and the Greater Possessed and the Cultists are all staying on their objectives.
Yes.
Okay, so start of the shooting phase. The Obliterators are going to split their shots. One is going to shoot these intercessors. One is going to shoot the Dreadnought, and the last one is going to take a shot at the Tactical Marines. 6 shots. Of the 6 shots at the intercessors, 2 get through, but the intercessors fail both their saves, so the last of that squad is wiped out. Then 4 of the 6 shots aimed at the Dreadnought get through. The Dreadnought saves 2, but each wound is 3 damage. As he only has 4 wounds left, I have to use Command Reroll to try to make one more save. But it fails and the Dreadnought is destroyed. And 5 of the 6 shots get through onto the tactical squad, but they manage to make all their saves. I saved the most inconsequential squad.
the exalted one is going to charge.
The Exalted Champion fights with the Eliminators. He lands 6 hits and 4 wounds, but Eliminators manage to make some saves and only 1 damage goes through, wounding one of the Eliminators. Next, my Eliminators get to fight against the Possessed. They land 3 hits, and in what is probably the most crucial dice roll of the game, they fail to convert any of those hits to wounds. No wounds.
Okay, Possessed. Sorry, man.
The last Possessed lands 2 hits on the Eliminators, doing 1 wound. The Eliminator fails 1 save, and that's enough to kill one of them. Meaning at this point, I'm now outnumbered on the centre objective by 2 models to 1. So that's the end of Matt's turn 2.
Well, Khorne
It's cleared the board a little.
they've done quite well. So I decided to retreat the bloodletters, pull them out to clear up some targets for the obliterators. I think that was a good decision because they managed to take out the dreadnought. They took out the 2 remaining intercessors, which were screening the most valuable objective. My Exalted Champion was able to get in and make a charge on
Eliminators.
on the Eliminator. He didn't do too well, but the Possessed managed to knock 1 Eliminator out. Eliminator. I had no choice but to keep the Possessed, Greater Possessed here, and the Spawn over there holding the objectives. That's the best I could do, really.
But puts you in a good spot because you're now holding all the objectives.
All the objectives, yes.
So, 2 points, 4 points, 2 points, 1 point.
Okay,
That's
3,
9
7,
points.
9 points.
9
And
points.
what is the score so far?
Let's see. So, Matt gets 9 for the objectives, for a total of 12. Jim has 4.
Including the first blood?
1 for first strike, 3 for objectives on the previous turn,
Yep.
1 for warlord on this
So
turn.
5.
Yes.
5 total. So the question is, do you think you could get 7 in the next turn? Or is that
7
game?
points. Well, let's see. That's the most valuable one, and I'm nowhere near it.
So that's 4 out of the way.
I could possibly kill him and consolidate round, which takes this one
Away.
away. But no one scores it because we
Yeah.
have 1 each.
Okay.
Unless I bring these guys in.
But you wouldn't score 4, would you? You'd score 4 if you have this one.
So this one's only worth 1 to me because that's my deployment zone. You could probably quite confidently take out this guy.
Yes.
So that'll give me
Easily.
2. I think at most I can claim 2, deny you 1, and then on your turn you possibly take this one back and then score 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So I think it's beyond my reach.
I think this game. So, how do you feel about today's game?
Well,
Where did it go? Well,
I think
hindsight's 2020.
it is. So I probably sat in the middle too long. I think turn 1 I should have broken out more.
Okay, which direction should have you?
I really should have been going in
Yes.
this direction because that's the most valuable one.
honey pot one.
Yeah.
And I thought you would.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I thought the ball would be here because you had this objective and this objective.
Yep.
And but the advantage Khorne has, it can react to things.
And you've got a lot of mobility.
Yeah, I've got ability. I had the obliterators. I had the bloodletters. Over there, I had the Mauler Fiend and the Spawn, but I saw them more as a distraction unit because once they're over there, they would be a long way away from here.
Yeah.
But I did want to get into the middle I did definitely want to get in the middle.
Yep.
So they were trying to drive in that way. I had to try and find a gap, and my exalted champion did.
Yeah, he did well.
He did well, and
so my plan for getting up here was to wait until, because I knew you would charge the possessed down.
yeah.
Once they were down, tie them up with these guys and throw my intercessors up there to take out the cultists. But then the obliterators. Now, I think these are MVP.
Most valuable player.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the obliterators they obliterated.
Yeah, they had two
Oh,
very
infantry.
strong turns.
So that plan went out the window, and then they mopped up over on the side. So I think by far that was
the flesh metal guns, the assault 6. Now, if we're wrong, please let us know. But assault 6, so that's 18 shots they're pumping out.
That's strength, minimum strength 7.
Yeah, minimum strength 7, up to strength 9. I'd never run them before. This is literally the first time, but they are. If you don't have them in your list, you don't really have a list.
Do you remember how many points they cost?
I have no idea, but they managed to get in on quite a small thing, and that's why they did pretty well. The spawn, they were a bit of a workhorse as well. Some people don't rate them, but I love running them. I love the unpredictability of them. I like even the possessed. I like rolling the dice, see what happens.
Yep.
I think that adds to games.
Possessed and greater possessed together.
Synergy.
One of my favourite ways to play chaos.
Very good.
And the turns that they don't charge, because they have D3 attacks. So the turns they don't charge is a little bit swingy.
Yeah.
But the turns they charge, they've got +1 for the charge. So it's D3 +1. So you're always doing at least 2 each. The greater gives you +1 strength, and it's it can be pretty deadly.
Yeah. Hateful assault was used. Not to be forgotten. I like that rule. You get 1 extra attack, it all adds up. Death to the False Emperor.
Yep.
These are really, really good. You're expanding, you're hitting 5 times, but you're getting 6 hits through eventually. It's great.
I think on the Space Marine side, the Contemptor Dreadnought, I love that guy.
He's a beast.
He's a really beast. Hits on 2s, shooting and close combat, and that close combat weapon is it
is a beast. It's a beast, but we had a problem finishing each other.
We did, it's typical. First swing does like 9 damage, and then you just can't get.
A few lucky rolls. I do like the Mauler Fiend. I like it on the table. It was quite fast, scurrying in. It gets a wound back every turn, but I just like seeing it on the table. Something big. I think tactically the obliterators, without that I wouldn't have stood a chance. I need that firepower. That's basically my shooting for the whole army. I think the cultists did scratch the wound off.
Cultists do their job though. Their job is screening and holding objectives. And they screened
they
so
screened.
They did their job.
Other than that, I'm not sure if I would do anything differently. I really
I
enjoyed that. That was a one for the books.
Yep.
Thank you for watching. I think it's time for me to go now. But thank you for watching. I hope you like and subscribe and follow our journey through narrative.
This is our first attempt to make a battle report. So any comments, any criticism, please avoid sweary words. But we'd love to hear any feedback that you have. Hopefully we can do this on a semi-regular basis.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Bye.